What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I want to recap my entire month of October. Finally coming to a close, only 2 months left in the year and in the quarter. Went by very fast, but I like to say pretty good bounce back month. If you remember from last month's recap video, we can take a look at it here on TradeZella of September, a $500 P&L month, just scratching and clawing. Only 4 red days though, to I don't even know how many green that is. But the big issue last month was my max daily loss was too large. You can see 3K loss on a day, 2K, and 1,000. When on none of those days did I make that much, right? I had a 1.8K day up here, but I was never really matching my big red days with my big green days. So it was a risk reward issue. So that was hit the confidence a little bit of just it felt like I wasn't making strides, making progress because his P&L kept going back to where it was, right? I'd have a nice solid week of 1.4 and 4 green days to 1 red. And then I go 2 green, 2 red, but I'm down 2.5K. So just too much red on those red days, right? I just have to limit that downside. So coming into October here, I'm proud of the 2 red days. You can see it's kind of blank. I didn't really trade too much this month compared to others. I think I averaged around like 15 to 18, maybe 20 days. But you can see this whole week was pretty much off. Right? I took a trip to Florida this month, as well as just some of these days I remained flat after having a nice week. I took the Friday off in terms of I didn't find a setup. I was still at the desk looking to trade, and I was also traveling on this day actually, so never mind. On the 25th, I was at the airport. But anyways, 2 red days, still trying to lean towards cutting these back a little bit. It's 1.5 to 2K. Not the worst because we have a 1.9K day, so that erases one of those, right? A $900. So we're creeping a little bit closer towards getting those trades the same size. And truth be told, if I had 12 green days to 2 red, if the red days are a little bit larger, as you can see, you still can pull a P&L. But if I were to have like a average month of 6 red days and 6 green, that'd be poor. Let's just say 8 green days and 6 red, but my wins and losses were pretty close together in size. You're not really going to make that much. So I think it only stands out as a good month because the amount of green that swallowed up all those 2 red days. But I still like to limit them. But at the end of the day, they're never going to be super, super small because this is multiple accounts on a copier. So the size is just going to be bigger. If I want to make 1.5K a day or 2.3, I have to be willing to lose 2K in a day or 1.5, right? I can't have it. Oh, when I lose 300 bucks, but when I win, I make 3 grand. Just very tough to do with the 1 hour trading that I do, 1 to 2 trades per day. So this is probably the reality that we're in. Just got to get used to seeing these bigger numbers and being comfortable with it. But let's take a look at the trades themselves of the red days first, right? Not saying I could have had a perfect month of all green, but if you look at the first red day that I had, I remember this one. I do like the structure of longs at this point, but this isn't my setup. I was covering Austin's stream. He was traveling, so I remember taking it live. I'm normally only live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I took this one because I didn't want to miss the move, which I thought could easily come higher because you could see how well we held the blue VWAP and green, which is our yesterday's New York, and all-time high. We fulfilled the double break stat of our opening range, so I thought this can continue back higher. We had the midnight price above us here in black that wanted to be tapped. So I like the longs from here. Let's get outside of this opening range, catch some drift. So I like the direction, but that's just not my trade. So from that one, it leads to a pullback, holds New York again, maybe building a higher low, finally breaks the high day view up. This is at least my entry signal that I teach in Futures 2.0 of leaning with the structure on a break of high day. But it just stops me out, and this actually turned into a whole entire choppy day. So no matter when I really bought it, it would have been tough. But I think the biggest lesson is, well, it probably should have just been the one trade, this one and a loss. Instead, it's the premature entry, getting back in when it's telling me to actually to be in, and now I take 2 losses rather than one. Right, so right there we can limit the damage. This one just pretty sideways. Notice how we're in the middle of the New York opening range. These two black horizontal lines. No clear structure yet. I'm playing statistics of the double break. Right, you can see 76% chance we break that opening range high and low. We already took out the bottom. But there's a gap size. There's a gap that wants to be filled down here at 83. So I kind of got two magnets going against me on both sides, and I'm right in the middle of them. But no real trending structure. So that's just a choppy one and ends up losing. Didn't look terrible, but it ends up losing. And then we catch this nice short later on where if you just zoom out now, come back later after that chop, right? That first trade is up in here, still inside the zone. Now you come back, you see clear lower highs, lower lows. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for shorts. That's the trend now. Sellers are in control, and I still revert back to my lower day view up break that I teach in Futures 2.0. If that's the entry signal, and it gave me one that if I didn't maybe take that first initial choppy one, I can stay patient for when the trend is actually present. Maybe I could have just had a nice green day rather than trying to fight back a loss. Right? This is another probably a bad loss. Just a strong drift higher on this Wednesday, October 9th, if you guys remember that one. Just ripping higher. No significant pullback at all. Pulls back to what was yesterday's high, this dotted line. But that's not really the key level I always like to trade off of. There's all this empty gray space that looks like it wants to be pulled back. And I just saw it holding that yesterday's high. Maybe this is going to be our small higher low. And we're going to go higher now. But you can see there is no break of a high day view up, which is my entry signal. I teach it in Futures 2.0. There's plenty of markups of why I do wait for the high day to be broken, because that's telling me buyers are in, but buyers aren't in because we didn't take it out. So an early entry there. Okay, pulls back a little bit more, stops after stopping me out, and then buyers finally take it over. So buyers are in on the high day view up break after a little bit more of a pullback. Same thing, chops around a nasty pin, just wicks me out as it pins the New York VWAP. So same thing as kind of earlier. Now I'm 0 for 2. So now I don't have enough ammo or drawdown today to take this third one, which is a high day break again. Structure is still leaning long. We're above New York. We just retested a level. Let me take 2 swings at it, is the idea. But I already did take 2 swings at it technically because that first poor one and now the real actual break, I'm 0 for 2. I can't keep going. So if I hadn't taken that first one, sticking to my rules, I would have just taken that first one and maybe I would have taken the second one to make it back, right? But instead, I'm red on the day because I took a stupid early one. I can't take 3, right? And these are just the nice winners of a nice bullish pop at the open, retest to New York, playing the midnight price above us. Nothing too crazy there. This one, nice new high day, leaning towards a bullish trend, retest a key level, break of high a day, right? Not getting it too early. It does break the high a day. And same thing with this one. This was just earlier on this week. New high day, pull back to key level, break of high a day VWAP. So of course there was other winners and losers this month. We don't really learn too much from these winners besides of affirming what I should keep doing. It's really these losers that I want to look at of could I have avoided some of these? Did I need all of these? How could I manage them better? So really just a good month to bounce back is really just those 2 days, because you could see none of the days were just like 100% win rate. I had to bounce back from a loss maybe on this day and that day. This first Monday was a one and done, so there were definitely some just straight up winning days, but for the most part, I did have to scratch and claw still to make the money back, plus some, taking some losses. Because even if we go to the top here, the win rate of my trades only 52%, and I say only because that's pretty low for me. I'm normally around like the 60s. And I've had as high as 85 in a month, not overall. So I would like to definitely get that up, but the one thing I did better this month, the profit factor at 2. So I definitely am controlling my risk a lot better. The day win percentage is beautiful at 12 to 2. I'll take that any day. So definitely a nice improvement from last month, making a nice almost 11K. But we'll take the 10.8. The small one red week. Couldn't make enough on that Friday, but we'll take it. Nice bounce back at the end of the month after taking a week off from traveling, not pressing on the gas of trying to find more trades if I don't love it. So I definitely want to keep an eye on my risk management still, and maybe my urge to get in trades that are still a little bit choppy with the ones where I think I can abandon my plan and get in a little early. Right? It might, it's probably going to break that high day, so just get in now. Nope. Either it does or it doesn't. And if it does, you get in. If it doesn't, I should stay out. Right? So avoiding that choppiness inside the 15-minute opening range. I want to see it spread out and be above it, retesting it, something like this. Otherwise, I'm not touching it. All right? So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's have a great November and December. Let's finish off the year strong. Reminder, one last thing, make sure to go check out Futures 2.0. Everything I said I should have done, and I normally do. Right? That was just 2 days last month. The VWAP break, those systems that I was saying I should be taking, and I do take, is described and gone over here in chapter 8, 9, and 10 of the entry signals, as well as my key levels, tips for how to scale the funding accounts, getting payouts, all these different things. So definitely go check that out. It's the second part to this Futures 101, the more basic version. My version of Futures 2.0 is going to dive even deeper into the strategy. and the entry system that we trade here in the futures to get a month like this. All right. So I appreciate you. Let's have a great November. I'll see you guys on the desk tomorrow.